Hi, everybody. It's Jason and Joel. Here we are at
Twindustry
at our studio. Great hair in Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yeah, we're here with Shira.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Who are you and what is your title?
Hey, everyone. I'm Shira Gans. I'm excited to be here. My title is I am the Senior Executive Director of Policy and Programs at the New York City Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. Just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it really
that's
does.
Pretty big.
That's a heavy-duty title.
Thanks.
Is that a new department in the mayor's office? Or?
Well, the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment is actually a pretty storied, older agency. It was established in 1962 by Mayor Lindsay to streamline on-location film permitting in the city of New York. Since then, it's grown over the years. So I'm actually the first person in the agency and in the history of the city to have a job that supports the music industry solely.
Got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you come out of the film department as well, or?
Nope. My job prior to this, I was the policy director at the city's Consumer Protection Agency.
That's amazing.
And then my boss at the time was reappointed to go over to this office and asked me if I would go with her, and I said, sure.
So is this like the Made in New York logo that you see on the films? Okay.
Yeah.
So will we see Made in New York stuff on albums?
You will not, because of a lot of boring copyright stuff I could share with you if you'd like. But at the moment, the seal is only available for films, and we recently added gaming.
Oh, okay, cool.
Digital games. So for films, if 75% of your below-the-line budget happens in New York City, then you have access to that free advertising space. But you know, we haven't quite found the corollary for the music industry because it's not as cost-intensive to, say, record an album. So... You know, it's a little bit strange to figure out how you would make it place-based in a way.
How long have you been in this role?
About 8 years.
8 years, wow. You said you're the first to do it, so did you create the position, or did you create the department, or?
Well, I definitely didn't create the department. The boss, Julie Menon, who I came over with, had the foresight to add music to the agency's portfolio, and I said, hey, I'll do that. I like to build out kind of blank slate, blue sky things, and so... Yeah, it's just been a process over these 8 years, adding different programs and trying to be responsive.
Are the three spokes film, video games, and music?
The spokes are film and TV, theater, music.
Theater, of course.
Digital gaming.
Okay.
And like on and on. So one of my projects in this role was to set up the Office of Nightlife. So it was the first.
Right, I want to know all about that.
Yeah,
Because we used to throw raves.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So we were kind of
Were
like...
We tried to be as legal as possible.
They were permitted in the sense that they had an occupancy permit.
We went out and got our fire marshal licenses and training, and would get a certificate of occupancy for a party that we were doing, and they'd still show up. And this is the 90s, and rave culture was really taking off in New York, and to do an illegal party in a warehouse, we were also taking a liability risk as well.
Yes, you were.
So we had to have, $1 million.
Now it's so widely accepted, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's accepted in some ways, but there's definitely a lot of tensions with the community and even the city itself. So the idea of establishing an office was that, just like any other aspect of the economy, it should have a city infrastructure to support it. So rather than treating nightlife as if it was a nuisance to try to abate or to fine, the idea was to say, okay, this is a huge revenue generator and part of the city's identity.
For sure.
Can we work collaboratively to manage tensions between the community and venues or nightlife institutions, as well as the other way around? Like, can we work to make it so that the city is more collaborative and not just going out to kind of fine or do these sort of SWAT team.
That's smart.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a SWAT
That's
team.
way cooler. If there are stakeholders on both sides, then do you have like council meetings and stuff, or how's it actually?
Yeah,
So I don't actually run it. I mean, one cool thing was I just set that up, and then and I was like, see it. This amazing woman, Ariel Palitz, was our first nightlife mayor, and she did create an interagency task force. So maybe surprising or not surprising, but people in government are often pretty siloed, like anywhere. So there's not always the health department talking with the police department, with the fire department. So the idea was to try to coordinate that and have better communication so that policies aligned and everyone could kind of work collaboratively. She also created a whole suite of other programs to help tenants work with venues instead of just continually calling.
Yeah, calling the cops over and over.
We're calling 311, which is like a problem.
Noise complaints and so on.
So try to kind of have mediation for that at a more
That's
micro
way
level.
wiser.
Yeah, and then also get rid of March, which was the multi-agency response to community hotspots, which was kind of that
Wow.
SWAT team. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that a lot of people, when I did the work for it, remember being at a venue and having this kind of traumatic experience of
Yeah.
March coming in and like, and so she changed it to, maybe it was MASH. It was like multiple agencies to support hospitality.
MASH.
That's a better. Can you tell us about Music Month?
Yeah, so Music Month is something I created in 2017. It came out of a conversation with a music CEO. So when I was first figuring out what should the music portfolio look like, I just had a conversation with lots of folks. And this guy's a big advocate for New York, and he was like, hey, the industry does all this stuff in June. There's like conferences and
True.
there's festivals.
Yeah, it's a busy month.
Yeah, why can't the city do something to recognize that? And I was like, oh, let's make June New York Music Month.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it started kind of small. We've always had a conference at NYU, at the Steinhardt Music Business Program, and we've always underwritten rehearsal space.
Amazing.
And then had like a handful of programs. And then over the years, as more and more people have learned about it and gotten excited, it's a way for me to partner with the music industry just to create a lot of educational opportunities and kind of professional and artistic development for both artists and early career folks. I worked with more than 30 industry partners to
Wow.
have.
Okay.
We had a free event pretty much every single day and sometimes up to 3 or 4 events. So it's, something I feel proud about in that it's kind of like if you build it, they will come type thing. So more and more folks want to do things, and then I'm able to provide them with a small amount of funding and kind of thought partnership, and also the platform of having the city involved.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's really cool. We've had everything from stuff on sync to a lot of stuff on like female empowerment to like, do you understand music rights? And
Right.
it kind of
Right.
runs the gamut. And then the conference has gotten bigger every year. We moved to Skirball, which is an 800-person venue
Yeah.
from a smaller room. And we had Joey Badass and Billy Porter and
Oh,
some
awesome.
pretty high-level executives. And it's all free.
Yeah.
So that's something I think that is...
It's a huge
Kinda
networking
rare.
opportunity.
Yeah. Actually, Carly is the one who saw me and said she was going to move to Chicago, but Music Month changed her mind.
Oh,
so-
amazing.
That's great.
I'm glad she
Yeah.
didn't move. We love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
We need to get more involved in that.
do podcasts for Music Month.
That's
That
not a
would be
bad
cool.
idea. We also want to do
Conference.
the Man on the Street podcast. We couldn't figure out a way to take the couch with
The
us.
couch out with us.
Yeah.
Just make a mini version of the couch that we just like superimpose later or something.
yeah.
When I lived in San Francisco, I did go to Burning Man once.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I do recall someone had mechanized a couch.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, so it had a motor, and then there was just like you saw them across
It's not
the
a bad
playa.
idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And I was
actually.
like,
I
that's
think
great.
we could probably put a go-kart underneath this.
Chesterfield with a go-kart
Yeah,
underneath it.
Chesterfield go-kart.
Yeah, just make sure
Yeah.
it's.
We have a lot of
permanent.
plans.
Also understand that you've created a fund that's to back female creators.
Yeah, so that actually, we've just done our final round of the fund, but this has been a $10 million fund, and then it wasn't genre specific, so you could be in any genres up to $20,000 for a new album
Oh, wow.
or EP or for a video. Most of the kind of grants are for, experimental jazz.
Nice.
Or,
Okay.
Yeah.
But this was, you could have been a hip hop artist
That's
or
great.
kind of doing anything.
Was it very diverse as far as the awards?
Yeah, it was. We had like kind of one panel that looked at the classical and jazz, and then
Mm-hmm.
one panel for the more contemporary music, and it really ran the gamut.
How long did you deploy the funds over?
So the first year that music was introduced was 2019, and then this last 5th cycle, the applications closed in November, and that'll be the last.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
bringing it to a total of $10
That's
million.
incredible.
That's incredible. Good
Wow.
job.
Thanks.
I think that's
And
fantastic.
so you help them create this stuff. This is incredible. Is there any connections that you offer as well for distribution or getting them out to like, hey, this is the next step to meet the person that could help you maybe get the film into a wider audience?
I think that would be a shortcoming of the music component of the program. Originally, the first round of it was focused on film, TV, and theater, and so that was kind of like, okay, there was a lot of research that showed that women would get close to the end of a film project and would have less access to capital than men,
Sure.
and so
Right,
like a
right.
micro grant of up to $50,000 could really make the difference. And it's like you're done and you submit to a festival, and then like it gets picked up
That's
or it
fantastic.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And then we realized with music, it was like, okay, you make
Little
your album.
nebulous.
Yeah.
Even though it's our program, there's a lot of rules around using kind of your office to influence
Right.
commercial decisions. So it
Oh, right on.
was a little strange for like, how could we create a platform that spotlighted the women who got these grants, because we had really high level people in the panels choosing. It was very
Right.
competitive, but also not make companies feel like, oh no, the mayor's office is saying.
His
Right,
fan
right,
favorites
right.
or whatever.
Of course, of course.
Yeah,
It's
so I'm not
almost
sure
like,
we cracked that code, but there's still time.
If there's a tax credit for New York filming,
Yes.
is there a tax credit for if you use New York made music in the film?
No. And there's been a lot of like effort to get a production credit, but that sort of floundered for music.
Because that would make like all the difference for New York film. You know, if say you're making some film here in New York City and you choose strictly music that was created in New York City, that interacts the two communities and creates revenue for both.
Symbiotic
And if you said
relationships.
like created in New York, how would you define
Recorded
that?
in this studio, recorded in that studio over there, recorded in that studio over there. As long as
75%.
What if like the artists are all from other places?
75%
it's fine as long as
recorded
they're
in New York.
New Yorkers or something like just created in New York.
I don't know. Joel's going to put it together as
I'll put it together.
lobbying plan.
I'll send it over.
Send it over, please.
He's going to start
cool.
lobbying the office.
Yes, please.
A lot of the stuff that you've done has been like around supporting underrepresented communities.
Yes.
And, people that haven't had the leg up or the foot up to necessarily get their stuff seen or get their stuff funded or get their stuff created so much more easily than the other people. Is this a personal mission of yours?
In my mind, that should be the mission of government in general,
Yeah.
is to
Right,
create
right on.
opportunities
That's
for
awesome.
underserved communities. But I'd say personally, my career started doing prisoner rights work.
Oh,
Oh, no
wow.
way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in California. So I monitored mental health care in California prisons, and then I was a federal investigator. I'm investigating
Wow.
claims of employment discrimination for the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and kind of onward from there. So I'd say, almost my whole career has been addressing inequality.
That's incredible.
In some capacity.
That's
Have
so
you ever
cool.
connected with Jason Flom?
I don't think so.
Jason Flom's the president of Lava Records, and he's a brilliant dude. He's an incredible A&R person, but more importantly, he also does the Innocence Project,
Innocence Project,
or
sure.
stuff like that. Like he's really an advocate for prisoner rights and people
should
being. Yeah, you should absolutely meet him. You guys have a lot in common.
Did you go to any shows during Music Week? Or Music Month,
It's a
rather?
whole month. I mean, a lot of the programming was actually panels and events, so I'm trying to think of shows I went to. In
What was the
that
banger
month.
of the daytime events then?
Ooh, I don't want to. It's like children,
Yeah,
favorite.
You mentioned Sync. That's my background, so I'm
Okay,
like,
so actually,
I
my
love
friend
Sync.
Josh Rabinowitz did this really
Yeah,
awesome.
Josh. I know
Josh is great.
Yeah, Josh
Okay,
is
so he
awesome.
did his
Great
So You
guy.
Think You Can Sync, which
Yep.
was he got a bunch of, publishers, and he had a spot for
Sink or swim.
for I think it was Orange Theory, like a high-end gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then while Josh, we did it at the Music Playground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
We
It's a
like
great
those guys
studio.
a lot too.
They
Yeah.
have like that theater in there.
I don't know. Do they?
It's like a place to sit. It's,
Yeah. I don't know if
Like
it was
a place to
theater.
sit.
It was like
It's
a
like
lobby
a,
kind
you
of
know.
thing. So it was packed, and then while Josh kind of talked to the audience about Sync for advertising, the women on the panel were all finding music from their catalogs.
Oh,
and then
wonderful.
there was an engineer.
So this
who
was happening
synced-
live?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
then-
so
that
cool.
sounds exciting.
And then the audience voted on what was the best song.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty fun. That was something I was new that we added, and
Yeah,
I really
I
enjoyed.
love that idea.
Karen's was really great. It was at the Bridge Studio, which was beautiful.
Yep,
and
yep.
that
We
was
love the
about-
bridge. Mona,
Yeah.
shout out.
Yeah, Mona was awesome. The panels were awesome. It was about from Mike to Sync, looking at kind of women's trajectory. So I always like to support women. and do
Yeah,
that kind of
100%.
We
thing.
do too.
The Webbies was a kind of fun one.
Yeah.
That was new too at Soho House on kind of what's making music videos, which we hadn't talked about. So I always like it when we can add something new. We actually did something with this group called Maestra that creates kind of a directory for women and gender expansive folks in musical theater.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Because people
Maestro.
would be like, I can't find anyone. It's
Right.
like, okay. Of course, the
That's
people
pretty
are there.
awesome.
So
They're there. They just, yeah, exactly.
So
Excellent.
it's always fun for me when I get to do kind of new topics.
That's
'cause the
incredible.
music-
Do you have any favorite music that you like, or?
I mean, I do. I was trying to think about that as I was walking over. My music taste varies from really probably cheesy to
Yeah.
kind of more emo folky. Like I was
Okay.
listening to
That's
Rainbow
fine.
Kitten Supreme.
Oh, love
the
that.
River.
Okay,
So
I'll take all that.
I'm going to see Childish Gambino on Monday.
Oh,
That's great. Okay.
St.
He's awesome.
Vincent in
Yeah.
a week or so, and then the Manchester Orchestra.
All right, so we're done with all that.
Yeah, well, we're like to taste the front up as well.
For New York bands, Mind Chatter is this artist I'm super into, and
Yeah.
he's kind of like Fred Again Light. Maybe it's like
I love Fred
electronic
Again, man.
music with
Okay.
really good lyrics and
Mind
vocals.
Chatter.
Okay.
We will look that up.
He's playing it elsewhere on October 24th.
Oh, no way. Okay, so it's definitely like a live electronic.
Yes.
Is there any way artists, labels, etc., creative people can get involved in Music Month or any of the other
Sure.
initiatives that you're doing?
Yeah, actually, one initiative which we didn't talk about, which I announced at Music Month, is that our office is going to be seed funding a music business degree at Brooklyn College.
This
No
is
way.
amazing.
Yes, so this is going to be the first
You heard
public.
it here.
music business degree in New York City.
Wow.
And
That's
really,
a city university.
yeah. So the
Right.
tuition at CUNY is about $7,500 a year.
That's incredible.
And Brooklyn College is super diverse.
Yep.
It's obviously in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Yep.
It's right down
Not
here.
far from here.
Yeah, not far from here.
Yeah.
I'm creating an industry council, which will be folks who are going to kind of inform both the curriculum and also be on the hook for hiring folks, for internships and things like that. So I really want the program, and as is Brooklyn College, to be responsive to what the industry needs so that kids come out and can get jobs.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
So, people can always reach out to me. And then if you have an idea for Music Month, an event you'd like to
well, we
do,
do.
as I like to say, my best ideas come from other people.
It's amazing how universities and colleges now actually have music business programs. When we were growing up,
Yeah.
I was pre-med. I hate blood.
Oh,
You know, I
good
if
choice.
there was a music business program, I would have done it.
Yeah, I went into advertising because there was nothing that I thought I was just.
He
gonna
went
be
to
a graphic-
Syracuse, where there's a massive, the Marty Bandier.
Yeah, now there is. But when I was there was no music business program. There was a marketing program or an advertising program.
Right.
Okay.
And they had nothing to do with music.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had the marketing program actually had me do some presentations about my label.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Because they were
cool.
like, holy crap, the student owns a label, and it was like a novelty at the time,
Yeah,
and now
sure.
everybody has a label. So
I think
it's
they
like,
did an article on
have you met anybody famous as a result of being in this office, or
I mean,
any selfies.
I don't know.
Do you have like a wall of cool images or what?
Yes and no. Like, so through,
Okay.
I think it's more like I meet a lot of C-suite people from
Okay.
companies, so
Right.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It was cool to have Joey Badass spoke at the
Yeah,
concert.
he's awesome.
And Billy Porter. I got
Yeah.
a nice hug from Billy
Amazing.
Porter. Dougie Fresh
Yeah.
spoke
Yeah.
the year before. That was
Absolutely.
cool. I've gotten to
Legend.
know Curtis Blow some through the
No way.
nightlife stuff. I got to meet Jessie Reyes once, who's an artist I really like.
I like
Just at
Jessie a lot.
She was up. So I love the
Another
guy.
Canadian.
Yeah, who runs the Recording Academy, the New York chapter. And he was saying she was coming through, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And so I went, and it was just like me and her manager and the 6 people who work
Yeah.
at the New York chapter of the Recording
Yeah,
Academy.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a playback or
Yeah,
something.
no,
and
it's
I was
like really intimate.
yeah. And I was like,
Yeah,
this
no,
is awesome.
she's really talented.
Yeah, so that was
She's very
cool.
talented.
Do you have any advice for anybody that wants to do something like what you're doing, or no matter what the industry is? Like we do music, you do policy and government, and the two have crossed today. How do you just do it right?
I'd say my advice is, one, I think is just like relationships really matter.
They
I
really
think
do.
People, I remember when I was in grad school, I was really fixated on taking all these quantitative classes because I wasn't good at math and I thought I needed to And then when I got out of grad school, I was like, Jesus, like I'm not going to put this on my resume. The last thing I ever want to do.
Do you want to be an actuary or something?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do that, and I realized I've kind of been underestimating the value of my ability to sort of connect with people,
Right,
make relationships,
right,
because
right.
that's
Yeah.
how you get projects
Yes,
done.
yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah.
really important, especially in a city like New York. I mean, it's not necessarily like who you know, but it's
Yeah.
like, like people have to like you.
Yeah,
For sure,
you have to
for
be
sure.
likable, and you have to be cool, and
Yeah,
you have
that's
to always
that's
be
currency,
kind.
by the way. And not only
Yeah.
that, I mean, I do believe it matters on who you know, but when you show up, it's what you know. You know,
Yeah.
I've opened a lot of doors for people that have completely shit the bed on the other side of it, and I'm like, oh,
I hope that's something no one ever says about me, especially on a podcast.
no, not you.
No, not you. You've been
No, I
amazing.
know.
This has been incredible for you coming through for us today.
Thank you so much.
thank
We've
you
never had
guys.
a government person in here, so this kind of legitimizes
Other than the
us.
police.
Yeah. And I appreciate you coming in.
Oh, thanks.
This
This
was
was
awesome,
fun.
Shira. Thank you so
This
much.
was great. Thank you, Shira.
And what is your website in case people want to look up what you do?
Oh, if you want to look up the city's website, the mayor's office of media and entertainment, it's nyc.gov
Slash.
MOME. And if you want to see what's going to be happening in Music Month, it's nymusicmonth.nyc.
Amazing. Amazing.
Great. Thanks, Shira. Let's
Thank you so
you
much,
guys.
Shira.
So
This
end
was
it now,
awesome.
and thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You killed it.
Yeah, it was easy.
Bam! Slam dunk.